Hello, I'm Natalie.
And I'm Sophie.
One fascinating thing about language and accents is that they're constantly evolving. Even received pronunciation, or RP, the way it was in the 1950s, sounds very different to what it sounds like now.
Yes, and back then, it was the norm that anyone working on TV, radio, should speak in an RP accent. It's one of the reasons why it was also known as BBC English.
Or the Queen's English.
And if you listen to one of the older recordings, for example from the 1950s or before, you'll hear a few features. So we're going to talk about a few right now. So one of them is the vowel a, which we would now pronounce as a handbag, for example. Back then, you would hear something resembling much more of an a much more open sound. Handbag, handbag, rather than handbag.
There's also been a shift in the oo vowel, which before was produced much further back in the mouth, ooh, whereas now it's further forward, ooh. So compare how do you do, the way the Queen or a TV presenter would have in the 50s, to how do you do, which is what it sounds like now.
And another sound is the vowel o, which you wouldn't have heard much of before at all. So rather than saying it's gone off, which is what you'd hear in modern day as Southern British or in RP, back then you would hear something more like it's gone off, it's more closed, it's gone off.
So from the 1990s, there's been more of a shift towards showing a wider variety of accents on TV because that's more democratic and more reflective of society and what different accents there are in the UK.
And this probably contributed to further shifts in sounds and in pronunciation. So what other sounds are changing?
So another shift that we're hearing is a move from the diphthong. Remember, diphthong is two vowels together. The diphthong which used to be very common in words like poor or a tour. I'm too poor to go on that tour. Now it's become more of a monophthong, so it's become more of a one vowel or. I'm too poor to go on that tour.
Another shift that is currently occurring is in the diphthong ear. So this is one you'll still hear a lot. So I'm over here, or let's have a beer. Most people will still use this diphthong and say, come here for a beer. But you might also hear people saying, come over here, let's have a beer. So it's much more, again, it's a monophthong rather than a diphthong. So ear is gradually shifting towards an e.
A long e.
A long e sound.
Yeah.
There are also more emerging accents which have started emerging probably since the 1990s.
Yeah, the late 20th century.
Late 20th century, which reflects increased immigration, especially to London or to southern parts of England. So one of these accents is called Multicultural London English, or MLE. And it has various influences, including Afro-Caribbean, South Asia, Polish, and even the traditional Cockney. So it comes from a whole load of different accents.
So we're going to talk about some features of MLE. We're not experts, but we're just going to talk about maybe three of them. One is the diphthong I, which in MLE is much more forward in the mouth. Rather than I, they'd say I. So if I said, oh, nice light, I would say that in MLE more like nice light, nice light. I like the light.
Yeah. Another sound that you'll notice is a little bit different in MLE is the diphthong O. So that is pronounced much more as a monophthong. So the O, which we would say in, for example, I don't know, would sound much more like I don't know. It's like the sound O. Rather than O, you hear O. I don't know. What's another sound?
Another one is again the diphthong A, which we have in the hay or the colour grey, which becomes more of a monophthong E. So it's a bit narrower sounding. It's a more closed mouth position. So rather than this colour is grey, there's no grey here. They'd say this colour's grey. So that doesn't sound great, but it gives you an idea of what we mean.
And obviously there are loads of other sounds that we could have talked about, but we just wanted to give you a little bit of an indication with a few examples. So, as you can see, accents are fascinating. That's why we love them so much.
I hope you enjoyed the videos. Please share, like, and subscribe to our videos on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And we'll see you again soon.
Accentology.